Well, I'm here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's the 7th of March in 2008, and I'm here to memories. And with me is, what was your name?
My name is Esther. Grandma.
Grandma? Yeah, I know her as Mom. But I wanted to give the grandkids and the great-grandkids and the great-great-grandkids and the great-great-great-great-grandkids someday an opportunity to see you and hear you and learn something about your life.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy?
Oh, boy.
What is your earliest memory?
It was probably my mom saying, "Be quiet." Grandpa's asleep. My dad worked nights on the railroad, worked nights and slept days, and that was, the kids had to be quiet. We couldn't yell, we couldn't run through the house.
You couldn't be kids.
No.
All right, so beyond be quiet,
Yeah.
What was your mom like as you were growing up as a young girl, a teenage girl?
Well, I think they had a pretty hard life. I remember Grandpa. He was a strict disciplinarian, and but he loved his family.
Not a lot of nonsense?
No, no nonsense.
Well, you had some jokesters for brothers, though. You had some jokesters as brothers, though, Harold and Hank, right?
Oh, yeah, Hank. Well, there's one in every family. Harold, more so.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Now, what was the order of birth, the birth order? Who's the oldest, who's the youngest?
Let's see, Bob was older than I was. So it was Bob, me, Hank.
Was Minnie after Hank?
Oh, Minnie was after me, but she died as a child.
Yeah.
She didn't get very old.
Yeah. What happened?
Oh, there was a lot of diphtheria in the area, and she died. She got sick and died of it. We all were sick with diphtheria. We had a sign on the door, diphtheria, and so people wouldn't go in and get sick too.
You were quarantined in there.
Quarantined.
So your dad worked nights for how many years?
Forever, I guess.
And he worked on the Union Pacific.
Pacific, Sometimes he'd have to, what was his title? He was a hustler. He'd have to take one of the engines and go into Denver. He was able to do that.
Because Grandpa worked for the railroad, did you get to ride the train for free?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went a lot of places. The kids and I were in Denver, wanted to buy a coat or some kind of apparel for Lyle that we couldn't get in Sterling. So we went to Denver to buy that. And then we were on our way to catch the train, and we were getting late getting there, and we ran, and then just before we got to where we could get on the train, he dropped his box with a coat in. So we had to stop. And I don't know, then we had to wait and take the next train.
Oh, you missed the train.
We missed the train, yeah. Well, they came every whipstitch, you know. We knew there was another one coming, so that was all right. But when we got to Sterling, wow, Dad was there, but he had come down for the first train. We weren't there, so he went back. I guess we had the store then. He went back to the store and waited till the next train came in, and he was there. "Where were you?" I said, "Well, you know that he had dropped his coat, and we couldn't run back on. The train was gone." So.
And then you went to Sterling Junior High.
Yeah.
All right. And Sterling High School.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What were your favorite subjects?
Math.
That was it.
I like math.
Yeah.
2 and 2 is 4.
No argument about that. You went to college.
1 year, and I'd had enough. I wasn't going to go back.
Why?
Oh, I had a professor that, I don't know why he picked on me. I wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary, but I had this class and we're discussion, and he said, "Isn't that right, Esther?" I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or not, and that was it. I never went back to that class.
What was the response from your mom and dad when you told them you didn't want to go back?
Well, they were mad. But I went, had to go take a few classes, and then I got a job at Hagedorn's. It was a men's clothing store where I worked for a long time. I was working there when I met Clarence.
So was it love at first sight?
Yeah. He was tall, dark hair. So it was nice. He said, "Well, I'm just a farmer." And I said, "Well, you like what you're doing?" "Yes." He said, "I'm a good farmer." "Well, that's all right." It didn't make any difference what he was doing.
So was living on the farm as you imagined it would be, or was it was difficult?
Well, we used to work. My mother's family were farmers, and they had beets to work to thin. Why they'd took pity on us because we were poor. Let us work these beets. Crawl on your hands and knees. Well, Mom would hoe, with a long-handled hoe. Us little kids came behind her and thinned the beets into one. You were supposed to leave one beet in each clump. Well, sometimes it didn't work that way, but she'd go back. And Dad would work real fast down the row and sit at the end of the row and wait for us.
You lived in the honeymoon shack behind.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
We lived in the house for a little bit, and then they cleaned up that little shack, and it was just 2 rooms, no running water, a path to the outside bathroom. Right, but we were out there by ourselves, so it was okay.
I forgot to ask you whether you had other boyfriends before you met Dad.
No, I had 3 brothers. I didn't need any. And one day, Bob said one of his friends wanted to know how come I wouldn't talk to them. And I said, "Your sister won't talk to us." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to talk to them first. They don't talk to me." Wasn't my place to speak of first, so